Welcome back to Let's Play Sonic Lost World. Last time we started up Silent Forest, and this time we'll be moving on to Silent Forest Zone 3. Hopefully this time experiencing a little bit less failure, because last time dying on that boss was actually genuinely embarrassing. I haven't been playing very well these past few episodes, but that was the peak of awful, so I'm going to be a bit more careful this time. Let's hop right in.
And now, Sonic, it's time for...
How come he's not blue?
You incompetent fools! I cannot trust you with the simplest of tasks. All right, we can work this to our advantage.
Somebody messed up royally, because we don't have Sonic.
We know!
Welcome to Zone 3. And you'll notice immediately right off the bat, first of all, we have more ice physics, and whatever they're called, stalactite versus stalagmite has always been an issue for me, because, I don't know, I guess I just don't give them enough love, I don't care enough, for lack of a better word, for lack of a better way of saying that. Anyway, so this is happening, we're in this level. This is very similar to something we've seen already back in World 1, back all the way in Windy Hill Zone. Jeez, Lewis, it's been such a long time. And it's even down to the music, it's the same type of thing. There's the rolling rocks, but now we're on ice, and it's a little bit more difficult because of that. I am doing a little bit poorly with doing my normal jumps instead of doing spin jumps, but that's fine. It's okay, I'll live. There are these little gross octopus things. Blech. Animal Crossing added a really nice villager who's an octopus, and that's like the one octopus I've seen that I actually care for. This Badnik right here is actually a little bit interesting. So you saw that it was all spiky then, and then I still got hurt even though it wasn't all spiky. The thing is, if you aren't doofus like me and you homing attack at the right time, you'll only be able to damage them while they are not in their spiky form, pretty much. It locks off certain areas within these cylindrical level types because they'll bounce back and forth between, which is something, I guess. It's, I don't know, they don't show up all that often, and they're kind of very specific type of it. They're cluckers with big long old legs, daddy long leg cluckers, whatever you want to call them. And, you know, they're very useless in a lot of situations. They only work in very specific level types, so it's not used all that often. So, coming up here, you want to be very, very knowledgeable on parkour, because there are little things like this. This can get you all the way up to this secret area, which will in turn take you down to this area, which has a red ring in it. Look at that, so neat. Yeah, this right here is a lot of very heavy parkour. And people do not like this at all because it attempts to make you use parkour in order to get a red ring when you haven't had to know how to use parkour this entire time. I understand why people don't particularly love that, because it asks you to use skills that you haven't honed. I think it's actually a very fun thing to do. It's a little bit difficult, but it's not difficult in the BS type of way. So I actually really do enjoy that quite a lot, but I just think that the game doesn't do enough to help you along the path to that point, I guess is the best way of saying that. Anyway, it's not all that important. Let's just continue on. Alright, so back to where we were before that very embarrassing death. Oh my god, I cannot believe that I did that. I was trying to flex my jumping abilities, I guess. I don't know what was going through my brain doing that. But anyway, more importantly, we died right at the end, because after this really cool icicle scene, yeah, it's right here. In the same type of level design as the end of the first or second zone in Windy Hill Zone. Yeah. I actually didn't catch how many animals that was, so I'm just going to assume it wasn't that many. Fingers crossed. So now instead of just having Sonic and Tails, we have the head of Orbot, we have the head of Cubot. It's kind of cute, actually. I don't mind it. Small change, but a change nonetheless. Moving on to Zone 4.
Look at him all, I'm so fast and stuff. Ugh, it makes me sick. Time to knock him down a peg.
Yeah, that's not one of my favorite cutscenes out there. And I think the main reason for that is because, as I've previously stated all the way back in like episode 2, I think the Deadly Six's strongest feature is their interactions with Sonic, because Sonic has character. Sonic has some, well, I say this, take it with a grain of salt, quote-unquote nuance, right? There's actual character with him. We've known about him for a long time. There's some sort of artificial character development we've had with him over the years, you know? But my point is, having a really generic character interact with a character that I hold more value with is, in general, just a way that will artificially boost that character, I feel, because if the other character is interacting with them and the other character is kind of carrying the conversation, it makes the other character that's in there, that's a little bit worse, feel as if it has some sort of value. But anyway, this level, it's pretty neat. Visually, it's really, really cool. You have some Thwomp-like enemies that can crush you if they smushed you down to the ground or smushed you up into the ceiling, so be careful. There's a red ring down there, but I kind of want this life, so let me grab that really quickly. Going back to what I said earlier about this Deadly Six person specifically, who I cannot remember the name of for the life of me. Whoops! Ooh, you know what I just realized? That red ring down there, you really cannot get a game over there unless you go out of your way to ignore that one up, which is pretty nice. But anyway, as I was saying, the Deadly Six member, the last one to be introduced, is just, there was really no way that they could have made him feel even remotely remarkable. Because before we've had, I think the other Deadly Six members at least bring some sort of familiarity. When you look at them, you're like, oh, that's that other Deadly Six member that we've been, like, kind of seeing for a while now. Whereas this last member of the Deadly Six, we've had no character interaction with him until now. The thing that they did where you would have to, or where they blacked out the rest of the Deadly Six members until you first saw them, was really just a detriment to this guy, because we've had no visual familiarity to him at all. So this character just feels totally out of nowhere, and I don't think that a lot of the interactions that he has with Sonic, or lack thereof, really do anything for him. That's a weird mechanic, but I kind of like it. Spring pushes you in a bunch of different wacky directions. Whoa! But yeah, he just doesn't work, because really any Deadly Six member at the very end just wouldn't work, because we don't, the other ones at least, again, have that visual familiarity. He definitely doesn't. We've seen him once, and we're gonna see him maybe, like, I don't know, 3 more times until the end of the game, or maybe even like twice. We're gonna see him like 2 more times. The point is, we're not gonna see this guy very often. It's stupid. It's stupid. Deadly Six bad. Dude, this guy's even worse because there's literally no redeeming factor for him, and there weren't a lot of redeeming factors for the Deadly Six in the first place. It's just, it's awful. But anyway, we are now using the drill to pop these weird pink pimples. And once you break all of them, you'll be able to move on, because the little ground pieces that you can use to progress, that you see right there, they wouldn't actually appear until you broke all of those. So you have to pop all those pink things, and then you can move on. That's really about it. Right now it's pretty easy. They're throwing in enemies into the mix, so it's slightly more difficult. And when I say slightly, I mean slightly. Same thing applies with the drill whisk that applied earlier. Pick them up. Don't want to drown yourself in the dirt. Don't want to suffocate. This is where things get a little bit more tricky. Now, instead of enemies, we have bombs. Honestly, the best strat might just be to run into all of the bombs, because after that point, you know, it's pretty easy to get the last thing if you just end up blowing up all the bombs, because then it's just the exact same thing as the first area. If that makes any sense. Getting rid of the bombs, there's no enemies, so it's pretty simple. Hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm a little tired. I apologize. That guy is trapped, and I don't see a real reason for him being down there. And I'm not gonna check. Because I'm a little low on rings. This. Okay. This is a lot of fun. I actually really like this one. So, this is a little bit reminiscent of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. We have this kind of gimmick where the lights turn off after a given amount of time, and we have these little things that we pull on to make the lights turn back on. Well, why is this a big deal, other than the lights going off making this visually look so great? Well, when the lights are off, you lose some of Sonic's basic moveset. You cannot homing attack or homing kick anything while the lights are off. This means certain enemies, like you just saw back there, are entirely impassable, and things like this, where you have to homing attack onto a chain of enemies, you can't do that without the lights being on. This makes a lot of areas, it makes you incapable of moving through these areas without turning on the lights. I really kind of wish they went with this visual design without making some of your moveset disappear, because I think this is visually beautiful, but I actually don't mind this. This is a really unique way of dealing with this concept. Back in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, what this did was, once the lights turned off, you would still be able to do everything that you could previously, but ghosts would start spawning and you'd take damage, stuff like that. But I actually really like this take on it. It's super unique, super cool. I think it's just a cute idea. So, I think with that, we're about out of this area. Could be wrong on that. I'm definitely wrong on that. We're still going, boys. We're still going. So now we have to platform on these guys. They're no longer just thwomps. They are kind of channeling their inner, actually, you platform on thwomps a lot. I was gonna say, like, inner Super Mario 64, and then I was like, well, it's also in Galaxy, and, well, it's also in pretty much everything, New Super Mario Bros., all of that. But anyway, I really like that visual design. I think that a lot of this world suffers from a lack of interesting takes on desert levels. Wow. No, on forest levels. I think one of the great things about the normal generic level archetypes in this game is that they usually take that level archetype and fit it to something that's more Sonic. And I love that so much, but this world wasn't really doing that until we got to this area, and this is more Donkey Kong than Sonic, but anyway. More importantly, boss fight time! So what do you do here? There are multiple, emo kids, and, there's 2 fakes, 1 real. All you have to do is homing attack them once with a charged homing attack, and that's it. You only have a limited amount of time to do this, but really it doesn't matter, because this takes no time in the first place. Maybe they made his health lower in order to kind of counteract the time limit a little bit, make it a bit easier to deal with, because, you know, this, if he had a lot of health, you had to maybe homing attack him twice, may have been a little bit harder to deal with for children. But this is just an insanely easy boss fight. You only have a limited amount of time to deal with this because they'll break the blocks under you, and you'll eventually fall into a bottomless pit, and at some point you will have literally no movement, and you'll probably die. But, like, you had enough space there for me to homing attack him at least 1 more time. I don't know. I'm gonna stop complaining about it. They're really, I mean, I've already talked about this before. Just easy boss fights, whatever. But anyway, Silent Forest is now out of the way, behind us. And we have a new world unlocked. I still cannot believe how easy that was. I'm repeating myself, but geez, Lewis. Woo-hoo-hoo. It was bad. Anyway, next time on Let's Play Sonic Lost World, we will move on to Sky Road. But again, that is for next time. Until then.